Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Today I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off last week. I cut up this white oak log that, if you guys saw last week's video, took care of in opening up the road around our north ridge. So just 4 days later, it's 4 days later of, I'm trying to get my video shooting on, 4 days later of getting this all clear. And I come up to get this white oak log, and we've got an old gnarly white oak that is just falling across the road. So got to get him out of the way first. But the plan is to grab these white oak logs, 2 of them, and we're going to try to mill some posts for the front porch of our off-grid cabin up in the mountains. I want to swap out the treated stuff that I have with some nice oak posts at some point. So I want to get those down and get them milled up. So come along with me. Let's see if we can get the obstructions out of the way, get the logs safely all the way down the mountain, and then see if we can turn them into usable product. All right, so I need to turn this boat around first. Turn the boat around. 100 acres and nowhere to turn a tractor. All right, so there's 2, possibly 3 logs here, but there's 2 I'm going to focus on right now. And you got the one laying there parallel with the road that we moved out of the way. And then we got this butt log that is perpendicular, and that's the one I want to grab first. But we have to remove it from this stump. I believe this stump is definitely going to want to stand back up since we're operating with an uphill fall, and the root is still attached to the ground, and I got a greenbrier in my back. As I'm sure most of you know, with white oak, they get this butt swell. Kind of like me after being in the office for 5 days. Just get wide on the bottom end here. And I'm going to cut most of that out. This tree uprooted because it has some rot. So there's a chance this could be hollow. But I'm going to try to capture it right here after the swell and still give me a 10-foot log. We'll see what we can do. Ow! I'm going to cut some greenbrier out of the way first. Well, that's anticlimactic. Stand up. Little bit of core rot just starting right there. All right, let's get this hitched up. That's going to stand up on its own. And I don't really care. So several of y'all had commented on my mic. I appreciate that. Give me good feedback there that the mic quality's better. Although some did say they're getting this huffing and puffing sound. I don't think that has anything to do with the mic. It may have to do with how I handle biscuits and gravy and those type of things. Maybe a direct response. Now, when I'm fortunate enough to hitch up a log the way this one is, then it really makes for a cleaner log. So as you can see, the way it's riding, the log is not touching the ground except for the very end. Without a winch system, which I'm trying to find the time to develop something, I've got something in my head, just got to try to build it that I can winch those up and snug it up against the back of the box blade. But there's times that I get that in a really weird jam, and it either bends up my blade or it actually lifts the entire log up and makes the rear end of the tractor so heavy it becomes precarious on uphill situations. But you can see the way it's even sliding now, it's got a little too much of a bite against the box blade that makes it want to kick to the right. So I have to just watch that when we get to some of these washes where there's a tree limb or drop off to the right. But actually it looks like it's going to help me kind of clean up some of the stuff that's hanging off to the sides. Or not. Let's keep it on the road. In the face! Ah, chainsaw got me. Well, while I'm bringing that log down off the hill, I wanted to do a quick announcement, just a reminder that this September we're going to be in New Hampshire at the Homesteaders of New England conference. Kelly and the boys are going to be joining me as well, so all four of us will be up there. And if you want to take 10% off the ticket price, you can use the code REDToolhouse. It'll be information listed down in the video description. Love to see you guys. Be sure to come up and say hi if you're there. All right, let's get back to sawing. I've been working my way back to you, log. Try not to put it over the hill. Check out the wild plums coming on. All right, so it's the following morning and I'm ready to mill the first log. I left this log long because it's a little over 12 feet. We need 4 vertical posts, so I'm hoping I can get at least 2. And if I can get 2, I should be able to get 4 4x4s. And I'm going to mill these true nominal 4x4s so I can plane them down, edge them, all those type of things, and get the 3.5 by 3.5. That will help support the porch roof the way we need it to. But I went ahead and left this long because I also want to replace my angle braces. Yeah, those right now are pine as well, and we want to put some white oak in here. Now, you may think, if it's the next morning, why is the sun so high in the sky? Well, it's because I have neglected to video all the foolishness that's been going on this morning. And I don't know, call this a summertime heat rant or what, but I haven't run the mill in a while, and I come down here, have to work on certain things. The water port's clogged up, mud dauber's nest. Well, the mud daubers, they decided to invite the wasps over, so the wasps are living in the frame of the sawmill, so they came out and we danced for a little bit. I've just been tripping over everything. I ran out of chainsaw gas, but I brought gas for the sawmill. Can't find my water jug, so it's just stupid stuff. And like I said, it's not worth videoing, but it's little things like that that just make you want to say, I'm just going to go to the house and do something else. But we're going to press on because I want to get this done. We'll see how it goes. So if I break anything, I will document that. Now I am going to use my log jack here. Toe board would be, I guess, the proper term. Hey, look, there's some gravel. That'll be fun. Toe board to raise the heart of this end. This is the shorter end, so this is further up the tree, smaller diameter end. So we'll raise the heart to match the heart on the butt end. That way we can center the heart. So we'll see how that works out, because if we're trying to get 4 4x4s, then the heart has to be in the dead center of that. So we'll just see what we'll start with the cant, square that off, and see what we get. And if we can only get 2, then I may do one with heart core center and then one without, and we'll see. I'll show you. All right, so we'll take the blade and we'll try to get lined up with the heart here. This is a hillside tree, so it actually has some tension wood in it, which means the heart isn't centered. So it's not going to be an exact science, but when we turn it 90 degrees, then we'll be able to try to isolate it more. All right, so that's 7 1/4, according to our mill. So let's remember 7 1/4. You guys remember that, because I'm going to ask you again, because I'll forget. Sounds like we need to oil some cables. We'll go all the way to the other end. See if we can back up and get some shadow off of that. Okay, so you can see the heart is right here. So we're a good 2 inches lower. One design flaw is that my carriage gets right in the way of my jack. About 3/4 of an inch more. All right, so as you look down these 4 4x4s, what do you see? And if your answer is bananas, then you are correct. So this is an example of wood under tension. This log was definitely under tension. As we cut through it, we release that tension, and it's now trying to go the direction it wants to go. Does that mean this stuff is garbage? No, not necessarily. I think what we'll be able to do, well, what we're going to try to do is we're going to strap this stuff down to my large pile of air-dried wood over there. We'll put stickers between it, but we'll actually try to ratchet down the areas that are bent or curved up. So we'll probably put like smiley faces. We'll probably all put them up on smiley faces and put a ratchet strap on either end and just really try to dog that down as much as possible. Keep it under that kind of tension so as it air dries, maybe it will stay. We'll also put some tin over top of it to keep the sun off of it, because the sun will really draw warp as well. So I'm very pleased with the yield that I was able to get out of this. Again, only needing 8 feet for the porch. That brings me to about right here. So out of these 4, starting from that end, I only have one that has a little bit of wane, and I can deal with that. These are 4x4, as we mentioned, and we're going to surface them down to 3.5 by 3.5, so it lines up with my header on the roof of the porch, which is two 2x6s nailed together. So I want that to not be so proud that it sticks out too much. Even despite the wane, so this one has some really bad wane on it down here beyond our 8 feet, and this one has a little bit. I have just around 3 feet or 3.5 feet of material out of these 4 that I can use for my cross braces. And I really only need 2, but I may go ahead and use all 4 of them just so there's some symmetry there. So really like how that turned out, and I think that's going to produce what we need. And I'm super excited because I didn't even have to use the other log. So what I may do is keep that other log for another project, maybe roll it back, because I want to get started on milling the posts for the sawmill shelter here. We've got our concrete pile in place, and I want to start getting those set up. I'd like to have this thing under roof before winter comes. All right, so the next thing I need to do is get these off the mill, take them down here to the rick pile, and get them ricked up. All right, so since my posts extend the length of my lumber pile here, then I can't just ratchet down easily to that. So I had another idea, and that is I've got the 2 bottom ones as a frowny face, the 2 top ones as a smiley face, so they are opposed to one another, as you can see by this amount of movement. Now there's also some lateral movement this way, and that's why I put the verticals in. So what I'm going to do is we're going to lash. Oh, he saved every one of us. All right, now for the other side. Clyde. These are the ratchet straps I took off of my trailer. I don't use them anymore, as you can see. Not the epitome of safety here. There we go. Very nice. Okay, so I think that will work. Now, knock these down a little bit so I can put some metal over top of them. Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't worry, I asked all the snakes to leave before I moved this. Ooh, that's hot. Ow. This is why we always keep a couple tires around. All right, we'll let that dog sit for a couple months and see what happens. Well, I'm really anxious to get started milling the posts for the sawmill shed, and we'll be doing that soon. I've got one more small project to get out of the way, and then we'll be able to fire up the mill for that project. So stick around. We'll hope to make some progress on that, and we're going to be doing that timber frame style as well. So be utilizing some of the skills that I've learned and studied about, and be anxious to get into that. Also, don't forget, if you go to store.redtoolhouse.com, you can see some of the swag that we have. We've got a variety of hats available. If you'd like to have a Red Tool House, help support the channel, that'd be great. And no, I'm not wearing one right now, but there's plenty on the store. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. I pray y'all have a great week. Take care.